What's up, ladies and gents? This is KSigKid coming at you with another Destiny video. Today it's Sunday and we're doing our weekly Q&A session. If you've got a question you would like to see me potentially answer next week about whatever your topic is, feel free to leave it in the comments section below and we'll see if I end up getting to it. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. So today we're going to see some Iron Banner gameplay. I just happened to pick this video because it was me using a Hawkmoon and a fusion rifle, and I kind of always like to show some different weapons on the channel, and you definitely have never seen me using a Hawkmoon before, probably for very good reason. Also, you're in the middle of doing your Iron Banners, getting all your loot, getting all the cool stuff, and what I actually want to do is I want to start up some new stuff on this channel. I want to start up some top 5s with your clips, some top 5 awesome moments with your clips. We might be able to do these once a week. We'll have to wait and see as far as what type of clips we end up getting. I tried asking a few of my favorite PvP players for their clips, and I realized that since I only asked 5 of them, I was kind of putting a little bit of a burden on them. So what I want to do is open it up to all of you. If you have some awesome PvP moments, go ahead and send them to this email address, ksigkidclips@gmail.com. ksigkidclips@gmail.com. Just make sure to record your video with your Xbox or PlayStation or whatever software you end up doing and cut out the clip you would like me to see and email it to me. If you send me an entire match video, chances are I'm not going to be able to use it because I'm not going to have time to be able to go through an entire match of all the different people that might be sending clips and cut out the pieces. That's really just not feasible. So if you've got some awesome moments that ended up happening, and I know you have because I've seen them actually happen to me, some ridiculous awesome moments, I'd like to put together a top 5 PvP highlight clips, or maybe for the first one we might have some awesome PvE type stuff that happened as well. You surprise me. You show me the awesome stuff that you've been doing in Destiny, and we can get it into a clip, and then we can see about making this a series that goes forward. So anyway, moving on to our number 1 question. We have Positive Vibes asking about the Crucible, asking if I think the Crucible is balanced. And honestly, I kind of do. I really do think that this is the most balanced that we have ever seen Crucible before. And you know why? Because you can take in pretty much any weapon that you want into the Crucible. Yes, there are staples. Yes, there is the Mida and Doctrine that are probably the 2 most used primary weapons, but honestly, you don't need to use the Mida and the Doctrine in order to be competitive. You can feel good about using most anything. If you don't have a Doctrine, put on an Arminius. It's very, very similar. If you don't have a Mida, there are a lot of other good scout rifles, including the slower firing scout rifles that actually have a really fast time to kill and are pretty deadly at length. Then you have your pulse rifles like the Hawksaw or the Nerwin's Mercy that are a lot of fun to use and still very strong, and they're trying to buff up the really slow fire rate pulse rifles like the Spare Change. So you've got those. The one gun that might be lagging behind all of them is the hand cannons, but then again Hawkmoon is kind of having a big resurgence, so Hawkmoon might be the one that stands above all others as far as the primary hand cannons go, but you're pretty good with most everything else. The slower firing hand cannons that can double tap to the head with Luck and Chamber, those things aren't too shabby. And as far as specials go, the specials are in a pretty decent place. Let's forget about the ammo changes and ammo nerfs, but you can still use your snipers, you can still use your shotguns. Fusion rifles are very viable. Sidearms might be taking a back seat. They're still never hitting their time in the sun, but all the specials are in pretty good shape. You know, in 6s, you're going to see a ton of shotguns, and in 3s, you're going to see a ton of sniper rifles. If there's any game mode that is more unbalanced than the others, I think it might be 3s like Trials of Osiris, because the sniper rifles just dominate that meta more than any other gun or weapon in any other game. So I feel like if there is an imbalance, it's probably the Trials of Osiris with sniper rifles, and that's just kind of a part of the way that that game mode is. You need to be safe in the Trials, and sniper rifles are going to be the thing that keeps you the most safe. So unless they fundamentally change the way that Trials of Osiris is, I think that you're just always going to be seeing that imbalance towards sniper rifles in the 3v3 game mode. So moving on to our next question, we've got Poisonberry asking if I could add any type of game mode into Destiny, what would I do? And it's kind of funny because just earlier today I was out on Twitch watching someone stream Mass Effect 3's multiplayer game. And I don't know how many of you have played the multiplayer game of that. I had a lot of fun playing that though. I spent a lot of hours after completing Mass Effect 3 playing that multiplayer game mode, and it was a lot of fun. I guess at its heart, in its core, it's a little bit like the Prison of Elders, but it's just done differently, and it's done to feel a little bit more rewarding and just a little bit more fun. Basically, there are 10 waves of enemies that are increasingly more difficult. You've got objectives just like you would have in the Prison of Elders. You could probably put boss fights in the middle of these waves, but the main thing that kind of draws me into this game mode is that what you're looking for and striving for is trying to complete that wave 10 and getting all of the currency that you get at the end of it. And after that, what you do is you can purchase unlocks as far as cards and stuff that can give you extra guns or extra characters, because there are a lot of different characters that you can pick from and use in the multiplayer game mode. And I really love that. What I like is I enjoy collecting and I enjoy playing with a bunch of different characters. So if I see a game mode where I can get a ton of different characters to play as and use after I've picked them up, that's a lot of fun to me. So even if this was a game mode that was slightly separate, but you could play as any character, including Fallen or Vex or Cabal, and you could play as them in a particular multiplayer game mode that would just stay there. You wouldn't then take them out into the normal Destiny universe or into the normal Crucible or anything. You would just play with them in this particular Encompass game mode. I think that would be so much fun, and I would not want them obviously to sell packs or cards or anything like that for actual money. I would just want us to use the money that we would generate from completing this game mode in-game on these purchases, and I think that would be amazing and just a lot of fun. I know I would be spending a ton of hours in that. Moving on to our next question, we've got Breaker asking me how I'm feeling about the April update. And honestly, I'm having a lot of fun in it. I still have one Challenge of Elders to do this week, but each week so far I've been managing to do my Challenge of Elders on all 3 of my characters. I didn't do the Nightfalls yet this week because of the Iron Banner. There's just not really a lot of time for me to be able to get into that. I actually raided last night for a little while. That was the first time I did the raid in a long time, and let me tell you, doing the challenge portion of the raid was extremely rewarding, and that makes me think that I really do need to jump into that, especially next week whenever it's going to be Golgroth, and I could really use some of those armor pieces at 335. So I'm really enjoying how rewarding feeling Destiny is right now. Again, I still have concerns that this stuff isn't exactly going to be able to keep you all the way up until the fall. I feel like after everybody's hit 335 and they've run around and they've played everything, that they're going to be feeling a little bit bored again, or they're just going to be jumping back into the Crucible for all their new experiences, but they're not going to be grinding for the loot like they are right now. For me, I'm still far behind compared to other people. I still have a lot of leveling to do. I have 0 characters that are 335. They're all right around 330 right now. I think my Warlock can get up to 331. So I still have a lot of carrots on the stick to look for. And so for me, right now, I'm enjoying it and I'm having a lot of fun with it. Finally, for our last question, we have Dylan Porter asking what the worst nerf is that Bungie did to PvP. So obviously the first thing I thought about was the ammo changes, then I thought about the Sunbreakers and how they are just nowhere near as competitive as they used to be. Then I thought about some specific weapon changes like the Vex Mythoclast, and I kind of just started falling over to the overall general weapon changes, like how hand cannons right now aren't exactly as good as they were in year 1. But finally, what I ended up deciding on was the auto rifle nerf that has now been rectified. Basically, whenever they nerfed the auto rifles, they completely wrecked them for year 1. You were just unable to utilize auto rifles at all in year 1 Destiny after they had that nerf. There's really been nothing else that just completely wiped out a portion of the game like that. So anyway, guys and gals, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Check out these awesome videos. Good luck with your raids, your drops, the Taken King, and I'll see you around in Destiny. Send in those clips, yo.